Alright, welcome back to I'm Not HICK Movie Reviews. Saw two movies this week. I'm going to start with the second one because I'm going to be spoiling Batman v Superman because it's the only way to really talk about it. But as for my Big Fat Greek Wedding 2, not much to say about it. It's boring. I nearly fell asleep 5 to 10 times. It wasn't interesting. Nothing seemed to happen. I can't recommend it. It's, like I said, it's a boring movie and totally forgettable. By the end of the year, when I go back and look for my top 10, bottom 10, I am seriously going to have trouble remembering what the heck happened in this movie. Probably because nothing happened in this movie at all. Like I said, everything is a stereotype. Everything is boring. Yeah, like I said, if you like the movie, awesome, but I can't recommend it. Personally, I think the critics are being generous on it. Well, as for Batman v Superman, this is a 2.5-hour movie that has maybe an hour and a half worth of a really good movie someplace mixed up all in it. It's basically combining 3 different graphic novels into one movie and doesn't really do justice to any of the 3 graphic novels. It's basically trying to combine Death of Superman, Injustice, and The Dark Knight Returns into one movie. I guess the closest one that they did decently was The Dark Knight Returns, but even then, it didn't really make a lot of sense. The first hour of the movie is very confusing because he keeps doing dream sequences, and half the time you don't even realize that you're in a dream sequence until something weird starts happening, and it doesn't make, or you just like, why is this happening? This is confusing. Like the Injustice parts, they put that in there, and in the middle of the scenes were kind of cool. They didn't flow with the rest of the movie. They didn't make sense with the rest of the movie. It was just kind of there. Also, they started off with showing Batman's backstory again. I don't know how many times we need to see the Waynes murdered on the street to get to know what happened to Batman. Everybody knows what happened to Batman. People who have never seen a Batman movie or read a comic or anything know Batman's backstory. Everybody knows it. We don't need to see it again unless it's thematically very important to the story. And the places in which they put this, it was not. It didn't make sense. It annoying right out of the gate. And just like first hour of this movie, almost nothing happened. It was just kind of them just going through. I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to set up, Lex Luthor and Batman and even Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. They didn't do a very good job on any of it. I will say that the lady who played Wonder Woman was probably the best thing in this movie. But she was only in it for 5-10 minutes. So you really can't even say that much about her. I did like the way they introduced the rest of the Justice League in just PDF files. That was kind of cool. But I don't understand why it wasn't Batman that didn't have it instead of him having to get that information from Lex Luthor. Batman's supposed to be the paranoid one, and yet he had to get the information from somebody else. That doesn't make any sense. And like I said, now obviously I've already spoiled a bit. Death of Superman is what happens in this movie, and the final scene where they do the graveyard or the funeral scenes couldn't have been done worse. It was literally one of the worst parts of the movie. I mean, you just had it. He died, awesome. And then Zack Snyder couldn't get out of his own way and started, doing the slow-mos and all this other stuff. And it's like, you're ruining what was supposed to be supposedly a touching scene. Now, I probably wouldn't like it even beyond that, but the slow-mo made it worse. Almost every problem I have with this movie has to do with Zack Snyder's direction. Zack Snyder needs an editor. Like I said, if you'd cut if you'd cut an hour out of this 2.5 hour movie and pared it down and made it, more tightly spun movie, this probably would have been a really good movie that I would have given a really good grade to. As it is, I'm kind of indifferent. I'll never watch this movie again. I enjoyed it for what it was because I like superhero movies. But if you don't like superhero movies, you're going to hate it because it's not a very well made movie. As in the actual movie making is badly done on this movie. I am really worried for Zack Snyder directing Justice League because if he doesn't find himself an editor quick, he's going to ruin that too. Although I will say this, all the other DC movies that don't have Zack Snyder's fingerprints on them, you know what? Those all look. I'm actually kind of looking forward to them all. But anything with Zack Snyder, I'm sorry, you can't give that guy too much rope, or you get sucker punch. So that's my reviews. Like I said, unfortunately, I can't really recommend Batman v Superman. Watch it when it comes on TV, or rent it so you can fast forward all the boring parts. Other than that, yeah. Anyways, tell me what you thought of these two movies in the comments below. Please, if you want to see more, click like, subscribe. Let me know what you think.